Hey ho, you are now tuned in to the Working Girl Lounge. Your favorite hoe has just entered the building. Listen, we are SW friendly, honey. Listen, I have had to deal with it all. I have been a part of the industry for just under 5 years now, so some would consider me a baby, but I'm still learning. If you don't know what an SW is, have you ever had to deal with a time waster? Yeah, especially if you're a baby in this industry, you've had to deal with a time waster too, possibly. Or if you're more of a vet and you've been in this industry for a little bit longer, did you just gain a generous client? Okay, so I think that's ringing a bell. Well, you're in the right place. This is definitely my formal invitation to everyone that is a part of the SW industry. I would really like for you guys to come in and join the conversation. Yes, I'm talking to you, cam girl. I'm talking to you, dancer. I'm talking to you, escort. You know who you are. I would love for you to come and join this conversation so we could discuss the many similarities that we have with each other. In this industry, it's basically like no other. But funny enough, I found it so interesting that no matter who I talk to, if you're part of the SW industry, we deal with similar things. Enough rambling. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. This segment is going to be called From One Entertainer to Another, and we're going to talk about a couple of topics today that we all deal with as SWs. So, from one entertainer to another, let's talk about sexuality. This is something that we deal with on and off camera. Um, if you are someone who usually shows your body on camera, or if you show your body in person, it doesn't really matter. This is something that everyone encounters. So today's first topic is going to be sexuality. An icebreaker would definitely be telling you my sexuality. So no matter if I'm on and off camera and in person or not, however I present myself, I am pansexual. It's always been that way ever since I started working. Like, it was never a point where I was like, oh, I am straight. Because I just think it's much easier for me to potentially open up the door to different opportunities. um, yeah, that's my sexuality. I think that it would be like extremely interesting to have some discourse around our sexuality as SWs. So whenever you are working, because like a good example is like a straight man doing gay porn. Like, it's just his job, right? Like, he gets the call, he gets the casting, and he's like, okay, cool, no issue doing the scene. Like, yeah, I totally understand that. I completely understand that. And I am not going to give another example because I'm pretty sure that this one is, I don't want to uh, let anyone's money be dwindled by this next example. But if you are a dancer, then you know what most dancers know. And yeah, we're just gonna keep it at that. Shout out to all of the cam girls today. I forgot to give you guys your spot. I myself am a cam girl, and I've been in this industry and camming, as far as camming, for about the same time. I think that's like one of the first things I started when I got into this industry. But yeah, shout out to all the cam girls. Personally, I think that sometimes clients like sexuality. They like that we're open about our sexuality. Um, that's what I found. And also in my work, I have had both male and female clients. I don't have an issue with taking male or female clients. I'm pansexual, so I actually don't have an issue with taking any gender of clients because it doesn't really bother me. Like being a pansexual woman, I'm just happy to be alive. So yeah, I think that I have found it kind of to my advantage whenever I find a client who is interested in me being open about my sexuality with them. I don't plaster it all over my every single thing. Like I don't it's a thing that I think you should mention, of course, but sometimes I just like to exhibit my body, especially like if it's in a social media post or something like that. Like I will be more um, open about my sexuality if it is like behind a paywall. Um, y'all, I love money, especially with this kind of job. Like that's what the my body gets the bills paid, and you would know this as well, all too well. I'm not going to just be open and honest about it. It's for me personally, I think sometimes wait, no. I am going to be open and honest about it. Pause, let me backtrack on that. I am going to be open and honest about it, but I'm more likely to be extremely open about it when it's behind a paywall. Um, just because I don't want like sometimes I feel like that attracts creeps, and I am so over the like sometimes like I'm just like doing something and I don't want to hear or see like the no picture Instagram account that's being weird in the comments, right? Like I can't control all of that and do everything else that I'm doing on an everyday basis. So yeah, sometimes I am a pretty reserved about it until you get and behind my paywalls. Have you guys ever found your clients to care about your sexuality? Are you a SW that is very open and out about your sexuality, whether you're straight or bisexual? Um, or have you just been more reserved about your sexuality? I would really love to know because I think that everyone has a different answer to this, especially when you're a part of this industry. That's what makes this industry so great because it attracts people of all different shapes, sizes, genders, and we all come with our own different things. So, what is your experience surrounding sexuality in the SW industry? I'm also filming this while Halloween is right around the corner. And you guys, I am going to bust out the Halloween socks and wear them on the 31st and be in the most Halloweeny of spirits. I like Halloween because it opens up the um, seasonal. I don't know what am I trying to say right now. It just opens up like all of the festivities here in America. Like I feel like this is like the time of the year to be alive. Like, oh, I love it so much. Like Christmas, snow, all the cute little outfits. I love it so much. I don't know what I should do as far as like what I want to be for Halloween, but I think I'm gonna hit up the local sex shop so I can make that decision quickly. With the quickness, every single time the holidays come around, I go to my local sex shop and I pick up a couple fun things. You know, you have to. Living this lifestyle gets you very acquainted with the workers at the local sex shop. They are actually pretty nice, and I always get a discount there because I'm an SW. Whenever I am on cam specifically, or I am doing in-person work, that's also another opportunity for me to let my clients know that I am pansexual too. That makes me more money usually because, especially, I right now I'm gonna speak specifically for cam. Sometimes people just want to talk to you, and it's a extremely it's a fun conversation to have. Most of the time, I'm just answering a lot of questions. What it's like, what's, who have you, not who, I would never disclose the who, but like, how many, um, how long was it? Little questions like that. And that usually is, I find them interesting. I find them fun, especially if I'm having a pretty chill day. If I'm not having a pretty chill day, the questions obviously can get annoying. I'm not always in the best mood to answer the same question over and over and over again, especially if I'm like dealing with multiple clients at one time. Because a site specifically for me um, that I use on the regular has the option for people to message you, private message you, and that's like going on the same time that you're in your room and also the same time that uh, people are tipping you to do other things. So it's always sometimes a lot, but I don't mind disclosing on one-on-one at all. Another part for me personally that I've been able to explore as being a pansexual SW is just seeing the different types of clients that come to me. Not only are they uh, men, but sometimes they like to wear little maid outfits, just simple things like that. Obviously, it's not simple to someone who is not an SW, but to us, it's like, okay, I totally understand that because most of the time, especially if you're an online girl, you've probably encountered these types of clients before. But yeah, like, I don't know. It's very interesting to have an array of clients that come my way because I think in being pansexual and also being more of a I don't want to say dominant because I don't necessarily think that is what I want to go for all of the time. Um, but just being more of a like stern personality, a stern persona, I guess you would say, that is like grounds to meeting these types of personalities or women who are just like obsessed with the way that you look because you are completely gorgeous and they have always wanted to be with a gorgeous girl. Like all of these things can have, I love these different personalities that come my way. And through my pansexuality, I can explore that whenever I am working online. Now, in person is sometimes a completely different uh, way of navigating it because I'm usually not really doing any um, taking of any sort. I like to strictly do uh, certain things because I like to make sure that I keep that boundary set and stern. So usually most of the clients that I take are extremely submissive when doing in-person work just because that's just kind of how I like it. I don't hate men, but you would think so the way that you would think so the way I run this ship. To finish off this segment, I would like to discuss a lingering thought that I had while I was talking about sexuality and pansexuality. And that's basically when to fire a client. Now, listen, some SWs don't necessarily set the boundary of firing their client and they just go on, with their life. But I make sure that is a very stern bound. Sometimes clients reappear, like they will be on some fuck shit and then you're like, you go back to doing what you're doing because you block them or whatever way you get rid of them, and then they come back 6 months later with a eerily similar username or something, and you're like, I can remember them, like I remember them, I just can't put my finger on it. Or you remember exactly who they were and you're like, okay, well, maybe it's a different day. It's never a different day. So once you fire your client, I think that it is time for you to completely cut them off. Never, ever, ever place anybody on the list to get acquainted with you as an SW, especially if they've overstepped any boundaries. Just putting that out there. I feel like that is word to the wise. I wish someone would have told me that whenever I first got into the industry. And if you are a vet in this industry, if you've been in this industry for much longer than I have, I would love for you to drop some wisdom on myself and other babies in this industry, because I think we don't have to give away all of our secrets to success, but this is something that I think should be universal knowledge. When to fire your client is up there 100% because you can fire your client. You don't need them for anything. There are so many other men with dicks in this world. There are so many other women with clits in this world. You can make this happen. But if a client oversteps any of your boundaries, you have to let them go. I mean, though there are some parts in this game that are about getting respect from clients, that is definitely a way that you can respect yourself. Never, just don't take no shit from clients. I love watching television, especially on my days off. I like to just sit down on the couch and relax, unwind. I love watching a series of television shows that are like very and involved. If I don't have to think too hard, I am completely there. I'll sprinkle in some shows that are like extremely hard, but most of the time I never end up finishing them because my brain's always overwhelmed with the material that is on the episode. But so a current favorite TV show of mine is, I think this is, I don't know what streaming service it's on, but it's called Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. And you guys, I love this show so much. It's like one of those comfort shows for me. I'm not 100% sure that they still make episodes. Like I think, no, actually I think like around 2020 or 2021 or something like that, they stopped making episodes of this show. So like I just like occasionally pick a season and just watch that season. It's so funny. This girl, she basically is in like a cult situation and this dude kidnaps them and he like tells them that he's like in direct communication with God, and they basically are stuck in this bunker for like an ungodly amount of time. And then they finally get released or whatever. You know that story. I can't think of the actual story that this show is based off of, but it's like a comedy show. It has all of the people. I think either written or created by Tina Fey. Either way, she has something to do with this show. Everybody is on this show, and it's so good. Uh, there's a roommate that she has in this show once she gets released, and she moves to New York, and he is a breath of fresh air. Like, oh, it's an amazing show. Um, that is definitely something that I watch whenever I'm not working, just to make sure my brain is turned off. It's lighthearted. Anything that they go through in this show is usually resolved within the episode, if not like the beginning of the next episode. Like nothing too crazy. Yeah, I love the show so much, and it's definitely been one that I've been watching since I would say like 2018. I'm not sure when it came out, but I definitely always have it on repeat. Thank you for listening to the second episode of the Working Girl Lounge. Once again, I would like to give an invite to anyone that's a part of the industry. Please come share your opinions on any matters. And yes, thank you so much, you guys, for watching me be the literal mayor of Yaptown. Until next time, though, stay healthy, stay wealthy, and stay stable. And baby, if you're gonna be a hoe, you gotta be the best hoe you can be. Bye.